Right now, a second Dane County committee recommends against confirming Representative Sheila Stubbs to serve as the county's Director of Human Services, what it means for Stubbs and for the position moving forward.
Plus, was this the last Mifflin Street block party? How Madison police are working on putting a stop to future parties.
And a manhunt in Texas intensifies as authorities continue to search for the gunman accused of killing 5 people. That's all ahead on News 3 Now at 10.
Everything that you all have said has perpetuated the racial bias. Go do your homework.
Emotions running high tonight after another Dane County committee voiced opposition to Representative Sheila Stubbs' appointment as the county's Director of Human Services.
McKenna Alexander attended tonight's meeting and shares how committee members came to this decision.
And during tonight's 2-hour meeting, plenty of voices, both for and against Stubbs' nomination, were heard. But ultimately, the Personnel and Finance Committee came to the conclusion that Stubbs is not fit to oversee the county's largest agency. This decision comes after a similar vote during last week's Health and Human Needs Committee meeting, during which a supporter of Stubbs directed racist language toward black members of the board. Tonight, committee members acknowledge those comments alleging discrimination against Stubbs, but argue their lack of recommendation is based solely on job requirements and what they believe to be best for the community.
Is a position charged with policy oversight and management of a complex array of services. And in my opinion, looking at Representative Stubbs' work history, I don't see a level of management experience needed at the scale that this department requires.
Earlier today, Dane County Executive Joe Parisi called last week's committee decision unprecedented and criticizes the line of questioning put forth by some members. Parisi has yet to comment on tonight's committee decision. Whether Stubbs can overcome this opposition will be decided Thursday, when the full county board will meet to discuss her appointment.
Well, not the best start for the month of May. Let's check your first warn forecast with Julian Seawright.
That's right, not the best starts, but the good news is we will see a better ending. And until we get there, we are still going to be dealing with some breezy conditions from tonight's heading into tomorrow. Wind gusts have come down quite a bit for us here in Madison, but they're still around 24 miles per hour. So don't be surprised if you hear some more howling throughout the rest of the overnight hours heading into your Tuesday morning. Now, one thing we are going to be watching for is just how chilly and how long these winds are going to be sticking around for. Heading into the overnights, well, we're looking at those winds to be sustained into the middle teens. And again, those gusts will be from anywhere 20 to 25 and even ranging to 30 miles per hour as we're heading into our early Tuesday morning. Cloud cover is going to stick around, chilly conditions as well. We're looking for us to bottom out into the upper 30s for us here in Madison. Much of southern Wisconsin will be into the upper 30s and near 40 degrees for tonight's lows. Tomorrow will be very similar in terms of daytime highs. We're looking at lower 50s throughout much of the day, so it's not going to feel too bad once we get into our evening hours or our afternoon, but until then, it's going to be on the chilly side, especially with those winds still going to be on the gusty side once we wake up for our tomorrow morning and heading into our lunchtime hours. We'll be timing out when we could finally expect these winds to taper off and when the warm-up is coming in a few moments. Until then, back to you guys.
Is the end near for the Mifflin Street block party? If Madison police have it their way, it really could be.
Officers say after a year with a larger crowd and more intoxication, they are now actively working to stop it for next year. Arman Rahman has more on why police say it's too dangerous to keep going.
By doing nothing, this event gets endorsed.
That's why Captain Mike Hansen says when it comes to canceling the Mifflin Street block party, he is
very serious because I'm trying to figure out the good of this event.
I don't find it overly surprising. I don't know if it's overly realistic either.
Students who live on the block say they were fine keeping partygoers from coming inside their homes.
I didn't necessarily feel unsafe. I think for me, as someone who's not super confrontational, telling people that they couldn't come inside and use the bathroom or we didn't want a lot of people standing on our porch was a little uncomfortable.
My friends I consider pretty responsible, and we locked our house down as best we could, so I personally didn't have any trouble now.
But with roughly 10,000 packed into the street,
there were definitely a lot of people. A lot more than I remember there being last year.
Hansen says his 200 officers face the dark side of that crowd every year.
We deal with the aftermath, and the aftermath is the arrests, the assaults, the injuries, the property damage, and it's year after year.
Police arrested at least 44, but that number is expected to go up.
People climbing trees and touching power lines, a nurse getting kicked in the head, an injured officer, and then disturbing once again is the fact that high schoolers attended this.
This year, they say a lot of that behavior is due to the 74 Borgs, or blackout rage gallons of alcohol that one team alone confiscated on the street. Students who live on Mifflin say they can do what they want on their property.
Can you really ticket them for drinking outside or drinking on a property? I don't know.
But MPD says it's becoming too much of a hazard.
No one is in favor of it continuing the way it is because we each year dodge a major catastrophe.
It'll be sad to see it go, but I'm happy we got one more if it actually does get shut down.
Now, earlier today, we asked you, should the Mifflin Block Party be ended? And so far in our Channel 3000 viewer poll, about half of you have already answered that you want it to stay, but that's not a majority that goes by much. Head over to channel3000.com for that poll and for a statement from the university on MPD's press conference.
Armand, thank you. Meanwhile, Madison police are confirming that a gun found on a Badger football player was stolen from a vehicle last summer. At a press conference today, Madison Police Captain Mike Hansen said police approached Allen during the Mifflin Street Block Party because they say he had an open intoxicant. When police searched Allen's bag, they say they found the gun. No word yet on if it was loaded or how Allen got the gun. He was bailed out of jail on Saturday. So far, he has not been charged with a crime.
A newly proposed bill would allow teenagers as young as 14 in Wisconsin to serve alcohol to seated customers in bars and restaurants. Under current state law, workers 18 and above can serve alcohol to customers. Only seated customers could be served by teens between 14 to 17. They would not be allowed to serve drinks at the bar itself. The two Republican sponsors of the bill say the current age limit on serving alcohol is causing workforce issues. The measure still has to pass the state Senate, Assembly, and be signed by Governor Evers.
Some shocking video from Milwaukee. A reckless driver in a stolen vehicle crashing into a school bus. It happened this morning just before 9. You could see a white Kia, 2 people hanging out of it, swerving back and forth before hitting the back of that bus. Then it hits the back of a pickup truck, dragging a passenger across the road. Several other occupants in that vehicle fled the scene on foot. A 15-year-old now in the hospital with life-threatening injuries. An 11-year-old on that bus was also hurt, but is expected to be okay. A young man found guilty of attempted homicide of a school resource officer in Oshkosh. Appearing in court today for sentencing, Grant Furman was sentenced to 17 years in prison with 10 years of extended supervision for attacking Oshkosh West school resource officer Mike Wissink with a grilling fork. You may recall this happened back in 2019. Furman, just 16 at the time, pleaded not guilty to the charges in 2021.
Meanwhile, in Texas, the manhunt for the gunman accused of shooting and killing 5 people, including a 9-year-old child, continues. More than 250 officers from multiple law enforcement agencies, including the FBI, have joined the search for 38-year-old Francisco Oropesa. Moments before the massacre, Wilson Garcia and 2 other men walked over to Oropesa's yard and asked him to stop shooting so close to their home because their baby was sleeping. The gunman later came to Garcia's home, shooting his wife, 3 other adults, and his 9-year-old son. Authorities believe 2 women died while using their bodies to shield the children who survived.
My heart is with this 8-year-old little boy. I don't care if he was here legally. I don't care if he was here illegally. He was in my county. 5 people died in my county, and that is where my heart is.
Federal officers patrolling the U.S. southern border have been briefed to be on the lookout in case Oropesa attempts to flee to Mexico. There is now a collective $80,000 reward being offered for information that leads to his arrest.
Hunter Biden, President Biden's son, of course, making an appearance in an Arkansas courtroom today. That hearing related to a years-old paternity dispute after the mother of his child, London Roberts, accused Hunter Biden of ignoring earlier court orders and withholding evidence. Hunter Biden initially denied fathering the child, but a DNA test confirmed he is the biological father. Now the judge says Hunter Biden must answer more questions about his investments, art sales, and other financial transactions as part of the child support case. He'll also sit for a June deposition where he will be questioned under oath. Former President Trump has been denied a mistrial in the civil battery and defamation trial against him. Cross-examination of E. Jean Carroll resumed today. She is suing Trump, accusing him of raping her back in the 1990s and then defaming her when he denied her claim. Trump's lawyer argued that Judge Lewis Kaplan made, quote, pervasive, unfair, and prejudicial rulings against Trump. Trump denies any wrongdoing.
Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says the U.S. could default on its debt as early as June 1st if Congress does not raise the country's borrowing limit. The White House says President Biden invited House Speaker Kevin McCarthy and other congressional leaders to a meeting on May 9th to negotiate the debt ceiling. Last week, House Republicans passed a bill that raises the limit and cuts federal spending. Democrats want a bill with no conditions attached.
We pay our bills, and we should do so without reckless hostage-taking from some of the mega Republicans in Congress.
We will not pass a debt ceiling that just raises it without doing something about our debt.
Also today, customers of First Republic Bank were caught off guard after regulators seized the bank and sold off most of its assets to J.P. Morgan Chase. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger says Americans can feel confident in their money because deposits of less than $250,000 are insured.
Canadian-born singer-songwriter Gordon Lightfoot has died. His publicist confirming Lightfoot passed away in Toronto of natural causes. Lightfoot, born in 1938 in Orillia, a small city in Ontario. Back in the early 60s, Lightfoot began to make a name for himself, and by the 70s, his distinctive voice and powerful storytelling became familiar to millions. Lightfoot's legacy includes the haunting ballad The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Other songs like Sundown helped him earn a spot in the Songwriters Hall of Fame. Gordon Lightfoot was 84 years old. Still ahead, Julian has a complete look at your forecast.
But first, a look at some chaotic weather events happening all across the country, causing havoc for thousands of people.
At Stanton Optical, independent eye doctors are available for eye exams whenever you need one. You should have seen me before I got mine. You're so quiet. Are you mad at me? Book your free same-day eye exam at Stanton Optical today.
Menards has everything to grow the perfect lawn, all 11% off. No matter the conditions of your yard, we have the right grass seed for you. Grab a 3-pound bag of Schultz Sun and Shade, hardy, shady, or high-traffic grass seed for $8.99 after rebate. FPP's Volt Edge Lawn and Garden Battery will power all of your tractors and lawnmowers. Each battery is built with the power to get you started. Now just $26.99 after exchange and 11% rebate at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Join the circle of life at the Lion King. Experience the world's #1 musical. Don't miss your chance to see The Lion King, one of the most awe-inspiring productions ever brought to life on stage.
Coming to Overture Center May 11th through 28th. Tickets on sale now at overture.org.
If you've got the TV volume way up right now, then you really need these. These tiny but powerful little hearing aids are the Nano CIC Recharge, priced at only $297 for a full pair. These are not simply amplifiers. These are ultra high quality, ultra reliable hearing aids, priced thousands less than other hearing aids. They fit right in your ear. Nothing shows in the back of your ear. Payments as low as $36 a month.
1-800-276-3995.
To everyone who appreciates a handcrafted meal, are you ready for a taste of Wisconsin?
Butterburger's cooked fresh, just the way you like.
The way you love.
Definitely love. And our thick and creamy frozen custard, we make it for you all throughout the day.
All day.
All day, every day.
Put it in the extra work and not cutting corners.
Takes a little longer.
But it's how we've always done it at Culver's. Because making your meal with care shows how much we care.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Stanton Optical is the best value in eye care. We did the math, people. For $79, you get all this. That costs over $400 at LensCrafters, over $200 at Walmart, and over $150 at America's Best. When it comes to value, Stanton Optical is the top bird.
Please welcome Martin Sheen and Emilio Estevez on the Jennifer Hudson Show. Is it hard to get in touch with your dad?
He has a cell phone, it just never turns it on.
Then Marsai Martin is here.
On the next Jennifer Hudson Show at 3. You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Welcome back. Today is Melanoma Monday. It's a day to raise awareness about skin cancer. It is one of the most common cancers, and melanoma causes a large majority of skin cancer deaths. Now, despite today's weather, we will see the sun again, and as we start spending more time outside, it's important to focus on skin health, sun safety, and skin cancer screenings.
So I think the importance is really the awareness of one's skin, awareness in terms of if there's any pigmented area that looks concerning, unusual, changing, to have a low threshold, to have that looked at by one's primary care provider.
The American Cancer Society estimates nearly 100,000 new melanoma cases will be diagnosed in the United States this year, and almost 8,000 people are expected to die from melanoma this year as well.
Starting next Thursday, federal employees will no longer have to be vaccinated against COVID-19. That's because May 11th, the U.S. COVID-19 public health emergency officially ends. The requirement has been the subject of much controversy. Last year, the Supreme Court said the federal government cannot mandate businesses to require vaccination, but can do so for its own employees and certain healthcare workers. May has an average of 268 tornadoes each year across the country, and the last days of April gave us an idea of what we could be in for. Around 100 homes are damaged in Virginia from a tornado system that hit Florida first.
And in the middle of the country, wild weather is swinging from too much water to too much dust. Emily Schmidt has a look at the history-making storms.
When a tornado ripped through the Great Neck area of Virginia Beach Sunday, people who lost their privacy in the howling winds lost their sense of normalcy, too.
As I was looking around, there were times where I didn't even recognize where I was.
The National Weather Service says an EF3 tornado, the width of more than 3 football fields, tore through about 4.5 miles, damaging 115 homes.
All of a sudden, all the trees in the backyard just went over, and glass shattering, stuff banging against the house.
His house withstood the winds gusting up to 145 miles per hour. His neighbors did not, though there were no injuries reported in just the 4th tornado here since 1900.
I think it's part of somebody else's roof. And I've got some of their roof in my garage in there that came through the window.
Definitely, this tornado has been impactful and it's devastated a lot of people's lives.
It wasn't isolated.
Oh my God, it's like right in front of us. Oh my God.
A storm hit northern Palm Beach County Saturday before moving north, picking up cars like toys. In Iowa, they're fighting nature with sandbags piled up against the swollen Mississippi River. Areas near Davenport could crest Monday, St. Louis later this week. In Illinois, more trouble in the air. Parts of I-55 closed Monday when a dust storm caused at least 40 to 60 vehicles to crash. There are multiple fatalities reported. The roads closed, waiting for the dust to clear. Emily Schmidt, News 3 Now.
Warmer weather is on its way. It is May. We should get it at some point, right, Julie?
You would hope so, but at this point, the way we're starting off, it almost is hard to believe. It's been chilly today and definitely windy, and how much longer are we going to be dealing with that? Well, we're going to answer that question with our weather headlines. The 3 things that we're going to need to know, folks, is that we are actually looking for the chilly and windy weather to start to taper off a bit once we get into our Wednesday. But until then, expect tomorrow to be more or less the same as today. Good news is, though, it's going to stay rather dry. We do have a couple opportunities for some areas to see some shower activity, but overall, we are going to stay dry. Now, once we start to warm up a bit, we will start to see those 60s for Wednesday and even closer to 70 degrees for the back end of the work week. And we're staying rather dry as well, but winds will start to pick up once again as we get closer to the weekend. But let's talk about what's happening as of right now. On our radar, lots of dry conditions, any activities mainly to the north and east. Otherwise, we're not going to be anticipating for us to see any kind of precipitation throughout the rest of tonight. For tomorrow, though, as of right now, we are going to be looking at those wind speeds to stay within the 30 miles per hour gusting range. As we get into tomorrow morning, as you're heading out the door, expect winds to still be howling, though they won't be as intense as they were last night. We are still going to be seeing those winds kicking into around the middle 30s by the time we get into our Tuesday early afternoon, lunchtime hour, and even after our 5 p.m. commutes. They'll start to finally die down once we get into our Tuesday nights, transitioning into our Wednesday, setting us up for even better days. Planning out tomorrow, just know as you're heading out the door, it's going to be cloudy, it's going to be chilly. On top of it, we are still going to be holding on to those winds. High temperatures will be around 52 degrees, but overall, folks, you're going to still need that jacket and be prepared for your hair not to have the best day outside with those winds. Tomorrow, we're looking in the lower 50s throughout much of southern Wisconsin. 52 in Janesville, 53 in Platteville, Boscobel, Lone Rock, and Prairie du Chien will be near the middle 50s throughout the course of the day, but cloud cover is going to rule the show in terms of conditions. Might see some pop-up showers overnight, but overall, we're really going to stay rather dry. 7 o'clock, cloudy, again, rather chilly. Heading into the noon hour around lunchtime, we're going to look at some small developments of some shower opportunities, but again, it's not going to be very widespread. You don't necessarily need the rain gear, but just be prepared if you're just southwest of Madison to see any kind of rain starting to pop up for us. Otherwise, it is going to be breezy, windy for some areas, and on top of it, lower 50s as well. Otherwise, tomorrow's going to be not too bad of a day. But we are finally going to start to see those temperatures really improve themselves within about the next 6 to 10 days, especially getting closer to the weekend and into next week. We're actually going to finally be above seasonable as we're looking at our CPC, looking at temperatures to be above that range for us, which means upper 60s. That's right. Here is the best reveal that we have for over the last little while. For our first warm 10-day forecast, we're looking at temperatures to be creeping into the upper 60s on the back end of the work week. Heading into the weekend, may start to see some winds picking up for Saturday, but into our Sunday and next week, we're finally looking at those 70s to be a little bit more consistent for us over the coming days. And the best part about it, we're not looking at a whole lot of opportunity to see some showers outside of small isolated showers to be into our forecast. Otherwise, we're finally looking at some sunshine and temperatures that are in the 70s.
There's a new Boys and Girls Club now open in Columbia County. The building used to be the Rush Elementary School in Portage before it closed last year. The club will have a STEM room, reading space, a large game room, and use of the school's gym for physical activities. This is the 200th Boys and Girls Club location in Wisconsin. They expect to welcome more than 100 kids.
Didn't take long for J.J. Watt to find his next venture now that he is retired. Find out what the former Badger standout is doing.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Get Hy-Vee shredded cheese for just $1.48 and Blue Bunny ice cream just $2.99 at Hy-Vee. That's Hy-Vee shredded cheese for just $1.48 and Blue Bunny ice cream just $2.99. Tuesday only and only at Hy-Vee.
Are record high energy and water costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With inflation rising at record levels and incomes not keeping pace, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive. While you may not ask for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to be without heat, water, or power. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596. That's 800-506-5596. Or visit www.heat.help.
George uses AT&T. Anthony has Spectrum One. With AT&T, George pays $55 for internet and $75 for his unlimited extra mobile line.
Plus monthly fees. Ouch.
With Spectrum One, Anthony gets internet, advanced Wi-Fi, and mobile for $49.99 a month. Go to spectrum.com/save more to see how much you can save. Get Spectrum internet for only $49.99 a month, plus free advanced Wi-Fi and a free unlimited mobile line. Visit spectrum.com/save more or call 833-714-4999 today.
You may want to attend college,
but you have a full-time job and kids that need your full-time attention.
How can you possibly attend college?
You learn online at South University.
Earn your degree any hour, any day, from anywhere.
And the credit transfer policies also make it easier to return to college.
The convenience of taking classes where you want.
The flexibility of taking classes when you want.
So you can become who you want.
South University Online.
1-800-211-2082.
Arby's, 2 for $7 every day. Yee, classic beef and cheddar hog. 2 of those things for just $7. Arby's, we have the meat.
What's your lawn care plan for the summer? Having a Maple Leaf lawn care maintenance program means a better looking lawn and more free time for you. Check our website for special discounts and leave the yard work to Maple Leaf, your year-round property care experts.
Get Hy-Vee shredded cheese for just $1.48 and Blue Bunny ice cream just $2.99 at Hy-Vee. That's Hy-Vee shredded cheese for just $1.48 and Blue Bunny ice cream just $2.99. Tuesday only and only at Hy-Vee.
You know the saying, all gas, no brakes? Well, that's definitely the best way to describe the Edgewood girls soccer team this season. Undefeated, averaging almost 6 goals a game, and have only allowed 2 goals over 10 matches. So it makes sense that the Crusaders have their sights set on getting back to state for the first time since 2019. Number 1 in their division, 10-0 record, and have 8 shutouts on the season. Yeah, Edgewood is really good at soccer.
For us right now, it's been about winning and learning, not winning or learning.
Part of that learning process is reloading the roster after graduating over 10 seniors.
The key has been some of the kids who had not as high of a role in the team last year stepping into starting roles and performing roles very, very well and very, very naturally.
And also not repeating last season's finish, 1 win short of state.
We got almost a taste of what it's like to get to state, and now we just all really want that.
So no doubt the goal is to hoist the gold ball over their heads in June.
Being a senior and never being able to make it that far, like, it would be huge for everyone, and just to like show that all our hard work is like coming to an end point.
To finish my high school career off, that would be something that I'd be so excited to do, and really hoping that I can help push all the other girls to get to that point, because it just seems like it'd be an amazing experience.
But to get there, the Crusaders just have to keep winning and learning. Couple quiet months for former Badger great J.J. Watt. He entered retirement this offseason, but seems like he's ready for his next adventure, announcing on Twitter today that he's officially retiring from retirement, but not to come back and play. Watt and his wife, Kea are investing in the English soccer club Burnley FC. The Clarets were recently promoted to the English Premier League after winning the English Football League championship. Badger women's basketball is adding to its staff as they welcome Wisconsin native Tiffany Morton as an assistant coach. Morton played at UW-Whitewater. She was part of the 2008 Division III Final Four squad and has more than 10 years of coaching experience. Her most recent stint was with Rice University. Well, after a week of big decisions, the Packers have another one, and this one's got a tight deadline. This time it's whether or not they're going to pick up Jordan Love's 5th-year option. That's about $20 million, and it needs to be decided by tomorrow. Love was drafted back in 2020, has played in 10 games since with only 1 start. Well, over the weekend, Packers GM Brian Gutekunst said that they were working on it and that, yes, it's a lot of money for a guy who hasn't played, but they are moving forward with him. And on the undrafted free agency front, the Packers agree to terms with 12 players. The roster sits at 88. We'll be right back.
At Lawton Cates, we're all about comebacks. Whether it's helping you recover after an accident or return to the job following an injury, we fight the odds and the insurance company for our clients every day. Your life counts. Lawton Cates.
Thank you so much for picking up.
When you really desperately need to talk to your insurance company, when you're having one of the worst days of your life,
What do people do at a time like this?
sometimes you just want to talk to someone, a person. Not a robot or a recording or an app. Oh, sure, we have all that stuff.
By Friday.
But on a day like that,
Just like that?
that phone line can end up feeling like a lifeline.
Thank you so much for listening.
At a time like that, you want a company like West Bend, because the worst brings out our best.
Low E, also known as low energy, is wreaking havoc on millions.
I can't even pull out the hose.
Thankfully, there's Planet Fitness. Now through May 10th, join Planet Fitness for $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime.
It's how you turn your low E into big fitness energy.
Our clean and spacious, judgment-free zone has equipment for every workout to keep you energized all day. Simply join through the free PF app for $1 down, $10 a month. No commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, May 10th.
The local water experts at Culligan can take care of everything but the kitchen sink. Actually, we do that too. Culligan, here for every water worry.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors for 35 years. InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. You can meet with an InventHelp representative who will keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. And InventHelp's databank includes over 9,000 companies who have agreed to review new ideas. Take action and get the help you need from InventHelp.
800-550-5543.
At Weedman Lawn Care, we believe that a lush, beautiful lawn should be enjoyed by the whole family. That's why we offer a kid and pet-friendly program to create a healthier, greener, weed-free lawn that your whole family can enjoy. Our program includes effective applications of targeted weed control and slow-release golf course quality fertilizer to achieve real results. Call or click today for your free quote, or sign up now and see the Weedman difference. Doesn't your family deserve a Weedman lawn?
We're exploring The Price of Perfection, Thursday at 6.
Finally tonight, a Portland, Oregon high school student turned heads at his prom over the weekend when he arrived in a tank.
Oh, get out.
Sherman Bynum said he was inspired to go big when his school set aside a special parking lot at the Portland Art Museum so that attendees could make flashy arrivals. Soon after, Bynum stumbled across Steve Greenberg, who just so happens to own an M3A1 World War II era tank. With the help of a GoFundMe campaign, Bynum was able to quickly raise $1,000 to hire Greenberg and his tank. Well, his name is Sherman, so it makes some sense.
Oh my goodness.
Gosh, that's something.
That's making a statement.
That's quite the limousine ride, isn't it?
That is a statement. Final check with Julian on the forecast.
Well, it's going to be still chilly and breezy, but as we've mentioned, the good news is on the horizon. 60s, and not just the 60s. There's 70 degrees on the back end of the work week. Not a whole lot of precipitation in this forecast, which is actually good news for once. We're actually going to get some sunshine heading into the weekend. Next week, though, could see some rain, some thunderstorms, still up in the air, but 70s, at least for right now, is one thing we're looking forward to.
All right, can't get here soon enough. Julian, thank you. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 10.
Do something good, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.